Hey y'all, I just want to do a quick little video. Is it just me or am I getting fatter? um, anyways, I saw Dyno Joe did a video this morning that he finally, I've heard that he's been trying to come up with something for us guys that can't cut squish. Not, at least not conventionally. Is that the right word? Anyways, I have on the floor here, amidst all of my frickin' saws, some customer saws. So all of these are from Andreas, and this with the red top on it there, that Echo 590, that is the one that I ported up for him. He loves it. He can't stop talking good about it. He freaking loves it. And but he had in felling a tree, it got pinched and got crushed and broke that top handle, broke the brake lever off of there and stuff. So we got to fix that for him. Parts are on order. They should be here any day now. And yeah, so we're gonna fix that. This, however, is a 461, and it's not exactly his, it's his feller's, but the spark plug blew out of it, which, you know, replacing that, it's not, you know, rethreading that and putting an insert in there, it's not a big deal. However, it had already been done in the past. It's already been done once before, and so those threads are really gnarled, and I don't think it would be wise to do that again. So I purchased for him, whoa, stepping over all these saws. I purchased right here. This is a Meteor cylinder, and I was talking with him, and I was like, you know what? I gotta switch out that cylinder and piston anyways. I guess I probably could have kept that piston, but it came as a kit. I think it was 100 and shipping and everything. It was like 180 bucks. So I was like, I got to swap that out anyways. And that's part of the normal workload whenever I port a chainsaw. So for just 100 bucks more, I'll port this one. And so he said, yeah, go ahead, port it up. And so I've got a 461 that I'm going to port. But I know that they really kind of need the squish cut. Not really kind of. To get really good performance, I want to cut the squish. And I tried. So what I do is, as I take my mandrel, I cut a slot in it right like that, and then I shove a piece of this high-speed steel in there, and that's how I cut my squish. I leave the mandrel chucked up in here in the lathe, and I just turn it by hand. And it's not the best way of doing it. I have wanted to get to a higher level of port work and machine work and stuff, but my old lathe, I don't think that it is accurate enough to be cutting squish. Cutting base is one thing, squish, a whole nother. And plus I would have to swap out to a 4-jaw chuck, which I have a 4-jaw chuck for it, but I am by no means a machinist. And so I'm constantly trying to balance, well, can I get away with not doing a squish cut on this and stuff? All that, you know. And I know it's easy for you guys to sit back and go, well, just do this. Just do that. Well, it's difficult whenever you go, well, that means I have to, know what to purchase for my machine. I don't have that knowledge. I'm not a machinist. And you can tell me, oh, just buy this thing. Just buy a quick disconnect or whatever it's called. And I type that in, and there's like tons of different options. and everything. I'm like, you know, I would have to have somebody holding my hand to get the right stuff. And then on top of that, my machine, it needs new bearings. And so I don't feel like it would be quite accurate enough to pull off a task like that. And am I doing it seriously enough to buy really nice, good stuff and nice new lathe? No, I'm not. I mean, I will waste a lot of money, but not the thousands of dollars it would take to get me a real nice setup. No. So I'm constantly trying to find the balance of getting the right tools, but not spending a huge amount of money. Well, thank you, Dyno Joe. Dyno Joe came up with a little system. Watch his video. Just go to Dyno Joe Mods, and he just did this video this morning about cutting squish by hand, and he has made a mandrel system that will be really great for me, and it looks like it's going to be so good. Even if I had a lathe that was capable of doing that, it'd be faster just to cut it by hand. So I can't wait. I can't wait. And so I was planning on starting that 461 today or tomorrow, something like that. But now that I've already ordered it and it's coming, so I'm just going to wait on that. That way I'll be able to cut 40 thousandths out of the squish or whatever it is I need to cut, and be good to go. Be good to go. So I'm really, really happy about this, and happy also to get an opportunity like one of my really good customers, Randy. I did the Makita for him, and you know, that was early on. I mean, it's still early on for me. I only about halfway know what I'm doing. I really, truthfully, I mean, like guys like Pat, Aaron Lynch, John Bob, freaking, and then you throw in Gary Buxton, Ethan, you know, Garrett Barker, all of these guys, they know way more about this than I do. I've only been doing this stuff now for about a year, and there's still so much for me to learn. Really, there is. But this squish, being able to cut squish with an easy setup like what Joe is offering, that's just going to take me to the next level. And I can't wait to get there. I'm so excited about this because I know, I mean, based off of watching Dyno Joe's video, he's got a video where he did a pretty basic port job on a 461, but he took 40 thousandths out of the squish and really was able to get that compression up. And I think that thing hit 7.8 horsepower, something like that. Whenever I put that in the hands of my customer, they're going to freak out. That's really great. I really, really look forward to that, and I look forward to showing you guys whenever I do this stuff. So it's very cool to me. I'm very happy boy right now. I can't wait to get that set up. Hopefully he'll mail it out really soon, and I'll be able to build that 461 really nice. Really, really nice. There is, on that Meteor, there is definitely a clear line where the chrome or Nicosil, whatever it is, lining that's inside the cylinder, where it stops before the squish. So I have to be careful of that. No need to remind me. I understand. I know. But the piston top, I measured it. The top of the piston, you know, the crown is, I think it's 140 thousandths, you know? So if I'm only going into the squish 40 thousandths, that means I've got another full 100 thousandths, and then there's the 20 thousandth squish that you want, or the 25 thousandth squish. So I've got plenty of room before the ring slips over that chrome liner. I'll go ahead and show you what I'm talking about real quick. Most of you guys probably already know, you do, but so if you go in here, this is your chrome liner. Right there, it stops. There's a gap right there. And so if your ring goes above that, if you cut so much out of this right here, if you cut so much out of that, then your ring will go up and on top of this chrome liner. And that'll grab your ring and it'll pop the top right off of your piston. So it can cause a lot of damage if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're careless. And I've been known to be careless a time or two in my life. But whenever I was trying to cut this cylinder, I tried to cut it my standard way, and the top of that must have some lining on it. I just could not get through it with my little crappy setup. So I'm going to have a proper setup, and that's what Joe is offering, and I'm very excited about it. So hopefully we'll see even better builds in the future. And like Randy, his 7910, I was talking about that earlier. I was like, I only about half know what I'm doing kind of thing. Well, I didn't see it being beneficial to even cut the squish, and then at the same time I only half knew what I was doing. So, but then I saw Gary Buxton clearly cut the squish on one. He cut, I think it was, he showed pictures of Steve McDowell's 7900 that Gary Buxton ported for him. And so I was like, well, if Gary cut the squish, then I should too. And that's one of those things I'll just talk with Randy and be like, just give it back to me. And I'll go back in there. And I want to do that for Randy. He's a good customer, and he wanted that thing to be turned up as high as possible. And without being able to cut the squish, my hands were tied. I couldn't do much. So I only saw about a 10% increase, maybe a 15% increase on that saw. And he was hoping for a lot more than that. And so hopefully this will allow me to really give it to him. And also want to go back into it because he wants me to do the 272 XP coil on that Makita 7910, because the coil on that Makita is limited, and you just can't even tune it. You just can't even tune it. It's crazy. But anyways, so I want to get back into that and do that better for him, because, well, I know more now, as well as, he's a top-notch customer, and him and Aaron I think I've done like 10 saws for them. So I want to take care of them. So anyways, this is a kind of a pointless video, but yeah, that's what's up.